And he has a clear record, and I think that if you do this, you're going down a very bad path. You did it in the past with a previous appointee for no reason other than you didn't like him. And there are a lot of people that don't like me on this board, and there are a lot of people who don't like other people, but end of the day, we should allow this to go forward. If there's a problem in the hearing room when you're discussing this, let me know. I'll be the first one to pull him off. But we've got to have a diversity of opinion instead of this continued groupthink that has been going on over 20 years. Thank you.
Supervisor Elias.
I like you, Ellie. I might disagree with you a lot, but I like you. I think you're all right. Mr. DeSimone, I think, has, from my perception, having listened to his show a lot over the time that it's been on, there's a tangential relationship with the truth. That's a problem. But you know, all things being equal, I think that that tradition that Supervisor Bronson discussed, our chair, of staying out of the way of other people's nominations is okay. So honestly, I would ask you, Ms. Miller, to remove this nomination for the good of this committee, and for the good of Pima County. If you refuse to do that, then let's go ahead and vote on it, and we can proceed forward. And whoever sits on that committee, I'm sure we can move forward and make proper and sound decisions. And so it's just a shame that, well, we've made a lot of mistakes, I think, with how we deal with FCC and radio programs that go on spouting political rantings as opposed to dealing with news issues. And that's been a problem since back in the days with Ronald Reagan. So this ain't nothing new to any of us. But I would ask Supervisor Miller to please reconsider this. Even if we were to turn down this nomination, we're not disenfranchising anyone, because you would still have the opportunity to appoint somebody else.
No, I will not remove it, because I have a right. I've never interfered with yours, Richard. And I can't believe that, first of all, you didn't come to me ahead of time, number one, and I cannot believe that you have a right to appoint people and I don't. It's wrong, you know it's wrong, and if you people do this today, you're gonna regret it, because there will be people, I mean, it is wrong to challenge and disenfranchise the voters of District 1 and violate their civil rights. They voted for me to appoint somebody, and as I said, if there are problems in that room when you're discussing and going over these road choices, let me know. I'll be the first one to remove somebody if their behavior isn't conducive to getting the job done. But you have no right to do this, and if you do it, I'll tell you what, I think you should be ashamed of yourselves.
Are you threatening? Are you threatening?
Yeah, she's a threat to us. And I'm willing to excuse that, because I know Allie gets worked up about things, but that was a threat. That didn't sound very nice, you know.
Enough.
Supervisor.
Madam Chair.
Christie.
I think this is really being blown way out of proportion. Supervisor Elias at the last meeting tried to draw some kind of nefarious issues with my staff being appointed to the same committee, and he's fabricated some sort of a problem argument, which is non-existent, and there's absolutely no foundation for it. And I can't believe that this board, with all its integrity and longevity and leadership, is going to let a little old talk show host with call-in radio in the morning have such an impactful effect on this committee. And after all, he is a citizen of District 1, and he is being appointed fairly and squarely, as is her right, by Supervisor Miller. And he has every right to be on that board, and to have a talk show host who happens to criticize people. That's his job. That's his obligation as a radio host. And I see that this is really being blown up way too much, And I really think that the board should go ahead and approve Mr. DeSimone. And after all, there are individuals being appointed by other supervisors that I think are open to just as much criticism, if not more, potentially, than Mr. DeSimone. So let's stop this kind of back and forth kindergarten kind of antics about somebody saying something that I don't like. A lot of people say things about me I don't like either, but that's what we're all in public service for, and let's move on and approve this nomination by Supervisor Miller.
The reality is fake news is not good, and it destroys the public, just the public structure of how we relate to one another. And he's a purveyor of fake news. But with that, let's call the question. Roll call.
Supervisor Christian?
Yes?
Supervisor Elias?
Despite being threatened, I'll vote yes.
Supervisor Miller?
Yes.
Supervisor Valadez?
Aye.
Chair Bronson?
Aye. But just to honor tradition.